My work with the goddess started as an instinctive, quiet, and very sensual connection. There were no fireworks. I was in the midst of deep shamanic work, and I knew the body needed to be medically tested. A blood test kept nudging me, and my fear of needles kept the intuitive nudge at bay. Then in the most mundane moment, watching a movie, my hands grabbed the phone and I searched for Lilith. And there was no logic to this. I had never encountered her or sensed her energy until that moment. The search took me deep, but it was veering me to the subconscious petition for help. I needed something to yank this fear of needles at the root so I can follow the body's needs. And the search brought me into the vampirical realm of Lilith, and before I knew it, I was flipping Netflix in search of Vampire Diaries. Fast forward to the last episode, I was booking myself a home blood test with absolutely no resistance. This is what I now call a default summoning, where her energy arose as naturally as my breath. And this also happened with goddess Kali. And soon I realized that the most profound magic and sorcery occurred when I was in the most mundane, body in a state of non-resistance and non-seeking energy, when I was simply immersed in the ordinary, and the goddess sensed the aura and appeared in her own accord, very effortless, very commanding and unprovoked. A natural arrival that aligns perfectly with the villainous, non-seeking, lean-back frequency of the dark feminine. An energy that does not beg or plead. It simply is. And in that stillness, it magnetizes the forces of the cosmos to be summoned. In this particular realm of work, working with Lilith in a dark blood summoning, the journey starts with your DNA. Blood work must happen first. Now, before I continue, it is vital that you read the disclaimer beneath this video. Now, the journey can begin in many ways. For some, it may be a medical foundation. For others, it could be a journey into the bloodline and its timeline. A rite of this power and this potent is not a one-size-fits-all. The less you try and fit a certain sorcerer's mold, be in control or try to make things happen, the more natural things will flow and the more obvious Lilith's voice will become. So the first step is knowing the goddess and following any nudge you feel coming upon you. You will probably be guided through that intimate moment with her, and from my own experience and the women I worked with, it is most likely that she will nudge you to travel into the depths of your cellular structure and to observe and assess where you have experienced depletion, iron, vitality, worth, money, energy, and even your own masculinity. Your blood will speak to you, and it will show you the moments and places where your essence was left behind during what I call the murder scenes of your life. Now, here is where the initial summon takes place. Once this foundation is set, you await guidance. The less arrogance and the more childlike you are in such a sorcerer's act, the more goddessness appears before you, and the guidance will definitely be there, bespokely for you. Now, you may then invite the goddess to assist in clearing, detoxing, and rewriting the story of your own blood or the bloodline. Or the goddess will guide you into something you never considered before. It might involve the blood, or it might have absolutely zero connection. You might be nudged to sit still until you hear the whispered nudges. Every woman taking on this rite will experience a profound one that revolves around her highest soul evolution. But from where I stand, and because I am the author behind the words I am narrating and the book I am narrating from, the rite starts with you first, your inner stance, your hormonal harmony, the level of assistance you require, and the intent according to your soul alignment. Again, from my personal perspective, to work with her, the body must be prepared to receive, contain, and maintain her high frequency. And in this, there is a level of honor, sacredness, and elegance that you may not have considered or practiced before. You are inviting a goddess current into your human vessel, your temple. And this requires the softening and the clearing of the entire being. The belly, the sacral space, the womb, and the mind must settle into a state of natural openness and softness. The body must become light, alkalized, quiet, and receptive. The breath needs to move very deeply into the belly, and the nervous system needs to slow right down. The energy field returns to its natural rhythm, and in this state, the heart rests between two very balanced energy centers within the body, open yet very steady. The spine and the brain begin to remember what the body has always known. This is the threshold where human logic loses its grip and the deeper currents of the self begin to rise. This is not a forceful Kundalini awakening. It is a very gentle stirring of energy that must be approached with maturity and respect. Sorcery of this kind requires reverence. It is never entered through curiosity alone. And then once the body is ready, you enter the void and allow the goddess to move through your being. In the void, you become no thing, no body, and no one. This is not an act of visualization. Visualization is projection, and the void is the absence of everything, including projection. The void is the dark unknown, where you empty the self of effort, identity, and expectation until only presence remains. In that presence, the very energy, the goddess may enter. So to truly work with a goddess like Lilith, you must first understand her on many levels and realms. She's probably been with you since birth, though her whispers often go unheard. When she comes to you, it is for many reasons, but primarily it will be to destroy the false sense of self, the illusions that tether you to dependency and suppression that are actually cast upon you by your own ego. Her arrival is gentle. I worked with both Lilith and Kali, and both came through the most gentle, kind ways, both very protective, motherly, and benevolent. The demonic parts were present, but neutral and in the background. Looking back, I can now tell many moments that Lilith may have been there whispering nudges, but my nervous system was nowhere near ready to receive her. And from working with her, now I know that she waits patiently, dressed in blood and veiled in the power of the night until we are ready.